Hey everybody, what's going on? Brother John here. Welcome to God Talk here. It's Tuesday, June 17, 2014. And sent some invites out, so uh, hopefully my brothers and sisters will be coming in soon. What I want to talk about today, um, well, I wanted to talk about paying forward, but I'd like for a couple people to come in here first, so I'm going to wait a few minutes, and this way I have somebody to talk to here. Because I see personally we have no viewers, so I will wait for a couple people to come in, and then we can talk about today's topic. So, yeah, if you're listening on YouTube, after this is all said and done, you probably have to fast forward. And here we go. We have first up, Heavy Hauler. How are you, man?
Oh, hey, I was, excuse me. I wasn't sure if I'd missed it or what.
Nope, just started.
Oh, okay.
10 o'clock.
Oh, I know what it was. You had sent a notice out earlier saying when it was going to be. That's what.
Ah,
For
yes.
some reason, I was thinking that was the actual notice for the actual event.
Very good. Well, I'm glad you made it. I think Prescott is out there. I don't know. Prescott, you should have the link. He should be in here soon. Let's see. We're also expecting Raw. Raw might come in. But I know Prescott's out there. Come on in, Prescott. And let's see. Carlton, Green, and J Dubs are supposed to come in. So hopefully see them in a couple minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So how's your day going, man?
Oh, it's been busy, but it was a good day. You know, busy and good, that's nice. Busy and insane, that's not nice. Haven't had one of those in a while. They were rough.
It was busy and good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Are we talking about work busy or just life in general busy?
Oh, work. Yeah, work.
Okay,
Work was pretty busy, but it was
that's good. Good to have work, especially in this economy.
good. No kidding.
May I ask what you do?
It's well, it has to do with graphics.
Graphics?
Yeah, graphics, signs, stuff
Okay. All right.
like that.
Signs, huh?
Yeah,
Cool.
just Prescott.
Hey, Prescott. Do you remember? I don't
Hey
know.
guys.
Hey, man, what's going on? Good to have work.
Kind of
Hey,
green
good.
or fuzzy tonight.
Prescott, you look like you're in underneath algae or something. I'm hearing noises in the background. Ivy, do you know that song called "Signs" from back in the '60s?
Okay. Let me just close up some of these.
Girl singing.
That.
Okay.
Yeah, that goes back a ways.
You're coming in a little low. You're coming in a little low tonight, Heavy.
Yeah.
It's probably my. Oh, wait a minute. Is that better?
Much better.
Oh,
Yeah, I had the
oh.
microphone pointing the wrong way. Well, I was eating a snack and had to move it and stuff.
I hear you. I hear you.
Well,
Do you remember? We're talking about signs. Do you remember the song "Signs" from the '60s?
Yeah, I remember it, but I have to look up who sang it. It was a girl that sang it.
No, it was
Or I'm thinking about something else. Signs. The one
everywhere.
where the guy
Sign.
put his hair up under his hat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I remember it now.
Yeah. Hippies need not apply.
That's it.
So he put up his hair up under his hat and went in to ask him why.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. I was saying I must have been thinking about something else.
I always turned on to that song from a hippie friend of mine, Bill. Bill from Kansas. And yeah, he turned me on to that song. I love that song.
Yeah, I was around when it first came out.
Wow.
That's an
I was
old part.
I was just a little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sign, sign, everywhere, sign. Cannot see when you lose my mind.
Yeah.
Uh,
The only time I heard any secular music growing up was when I was on the school bus. And one summer when we were on vacation, we listened to some radio, which was unusual. And I think Olivia Newton-John would have been very early in her career, I think. Anyway, not much exposure to secular music growing up, not until about 1984.
really?
No Led
Yeah.
Zeppelin?
No Led Zepp, no.
Oh, man, heavy. Yeah, that's love Zeppelin.
Oh yeah.
I was a Zeppelin nut in high school.
This is Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd,
Uh-huh.
Deep Purple, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Yes.
Yeah,
Well, they were kind of different.
yeah.
I,
It was like progressive rock.
don't be knocking Yes.
But
I had an album too. I had Fragile. I think I had another album. I forgot. But I was more, yeah, to the Zeppelin sound. I liked Rush, Black Sabbath. Yeah.
Well, I think my classical music training, when I started listening to secular music, I found that the bands that I enjoyed the most tended to be like part of the second wave British music, like Yes and Genesis, and I guess ELP would be part of that group. And
Poco Harum, maybe.
no, never heard of that one.
Poco Harum. They did a Conquistador. That's the biggest one I remember though. But they had like some of the songs they had like an orchestra.
Oh, okay, okay.
Mm.
Deep Purple even did a couple of gigs with full orchestras. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. I guess they've all tried to do versions of their songs with an orchestra. Jethro Tull, and so yeah. It just seemed, and of course, a lot of these guys actually in their childhood they were like in church choirs and stuff like that. Had a lot of them came from religious backgrounds. Like as far as music goes, they were introduced to music in the church.
Yeah.
And so the kind of classical sound seemed to kind of naturally be a part of how they ended up composing and writing. So
It was a nice mix.
oh yeah. No, I still Yes is still my favorite. In fact, I think probably the first Yes. It was 1984 with the 90125 or 90120. I keep confusing the TV show with the name of the band.
Okay.
Yeah, Owner of the Lonely Heart. When that came out, I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I kind of went backwards from there with some of their earlier stuff. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I wanted to talk about paying it forward. I'm sure you heard the term "pay it forward."
I saw the movie.
Yeah, the movie made the concept very popular. But the other day, and I'm going to promote in another chat. You might be interested in this group. They're on like every morning for like an hour,
Mhm.
and I just came across them by happenstance. The name of their show is "Let's Talk About It," and then they always replace it with whatever they're going to talk about. So this particular, the first time I caught them, it was let's talk about paying it forward. And I was listening to him, and I said, what, yeah, it's a good thing, and something to bring up in chat. I thought it was a pretty cool conversation. I thought maybe we'd talk about that here and paying it forward. I think everybody, can contribute some way or another, has something to give of themselves that they can give to somebody else, or something's done special for them, and the way to pay it forward is, just help someone, a stranger, or someone else you know, and spread the love. So if you could pay something forward, what could you pay forward?
Hmm.
Bit of knowledge, a bit of wisdom, maybe. I don't know. A talent.
Yeah, no, it's not something that's popped up recently though.
Could be anything.
Some. I mean, kind of the other way around. Sometimes I might like do something for somebody, or share something with somebody, kind of help them out a little bit, and they'd be like, "Oh, thanking me and stuff like that." I said, "No, no, don't worry. Just help somebody else down the line." And mostly I ran into it I would run into it a lot when I was in Second Life, because I'm pretty good at building and doing stuff in there, and sometimes I'd show a new person how to do things, or I'd make something for them, like maybe they needed help with their house or landscaping or terraforming. You can actually shape the ground in there, and they'd want to pay me for it. And I said, no, no, no. You learn this, get the hang of it, teach somebody else.
There you go.
I mean, it's just kind of off the wall thing there.
Yeah, well, you got other gamers, they're into it, they love doing it, and you're helping them out play the game. And, hey, I can see it.
Of course, next month, Heavy's going to be out in the street somewhere, and
I don't know. I can't do too much terraforming in the real world. No, I need a steam shovel or something.
Well, I was just thinking, like all those people like offering to pay you money. It's like, no, pay it forward, brother. and then you end up with the street for your kindness. So you got to pay your bills anyway.
There you go.
I'm just tormenting, I think.
It is a good way to look at life, though. When people do things, to help you out, you kind of realize, how what it means to you, that someone just offer to help you and not expect anything back in return or anything, or if you try to give them something or try to pay them or something, or do something for them, in return. They don't really care about that. They just want you to kind of pass it on, do something good for somebody else.
Yeah, well, I guess what I'm wondering, as I'm thinking about it, and not to be contrarian, lest it sound like that, or, well, maybe because it sounds... What's that?
I'm kicking you out.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering, like, you do something nice for somebody, and then you kind of put it on them as, like, okay, I did something nice for you, now you got to do something nice for somebody else. Now, I understand you're not saying it quite in that tone.
Right.
But it's like if you're talking to somebody who's like, well, I don't feel like doing something for somebody else for nothing. And it's just kind of, I don't know.
They're ungrateful, man. If you just did something for them, and then they say thank you, I want to do something for you, and we say no, go do it for a stranger. They say, I don't want to do anything for a stranger.
Well, that's just it. It's kind of like they might even be willing to give you money, and you're saying no, I don't want your money. Go do something nice for a stranger. And it's kind of like, I'm not going to do something for a stranger.
Well, then do it only for someone you love a lot.
I'm trying to give you freaking
Oh.
money.
Only
Take
if they're cute.
Well, we must have standards.
Okay.
You know what? Go open your own room, Prescott, and call it "Get It Back." Well, I understand, but yeah, I understand. How about also? You ever think about like when somebody gives you something, you almost feel, even though they say they don't want you to return the favor, you also, in your sense, you feel obligated. I have to give it back. It's like I don't know if it's a cultural thing or something.
It probably is a
It's
lot of
like it's
cultural, yeah.
if I can't do it, then it, like, what does it say about me? You know, I don't know. I was just reading about something. I was just reading a short article on. It was like 10 things to do or say with Chinese people. Now, in their culture, apparently they do a lot of small gift giving. So, like they were saying, if you're ever invited to a Chinese home, you should bring something. If they're inviting you for dinner, you should bring a small token of appreciation. You know, this is something they do in their culture. It goes back and forth. And so maybe it's something like that. You know, like it would be insulting to not give a gift or you know, want to give, because you want to give something in return. So, you know what I'm saying? But I
Well,
think we should pay it forward. I think when you go do something unexpected for someone, I mean, it could be a tremendous. It could be something, especially for a stranger, because if they're really in dire needs, I've had a situation like that. Uh, what comes to mind first is someone asked me for money, and I knew I just got paid, so I knew I had like a bunch of cash in my pocket. And I was being like, I didn't want to pull out all my money, obviously. I would have felt stupid. Yeah, let me pull out this wad of cash. I'm gonna give you $1. You know. So I'm like, I'm gonna give $1. And I'm like, but what came out was, I pulled the first thing I thought was $1 wound up being a $10 bill. So I gave the lady a $10 bill, but she was like so appreciative for $10. She couldn't thank me enough, and
she's
it
like, how many cigarettes can I buy with $10?
well, I don't know. It just didn't seem that way, just from seeing her eyes and stuff like that. But it was really a blessing for me that day. And
Mhm.
it was kind of a lesson for me as well, too. And
But that's not paying it forward. That's just
yeah,
charity.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
don't say just charity to
yeah. No,
belittle it, but it is.
you're
It's
right.
just kindness.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
And it'd be kind of weird if you said to her, "Now pay it forward."
But I need these $10.
Exactly. You gave me that $10. Now I got to give it to somebody else.
I just thought about something. Years ago, I used to ride a motorcycle, and there was a lady. I think she had a flat tire. She was trying to fix it, and I pulled over up behind her. So here I am on this big Kawasaki 750, beard, all that. But anyway, I get out to help her, and I help change the tire for her. And she was trying to give me a little bit of something for helping her. And I said, well, no, that's fine. If you see an opportunity to help somebody else, that'd be great. It's just like a suggestion. Like do something for somebody and not really expect anything back. And I was looking up on Google the pay it forward. It says it's been around for a long time. The concept is old, but the phrase may have been coined by Lily Hardy Hammond in her 1916 book In the Garden of Delight. And then it just kind of gave a little list of like works of literature and stuff where people have used that idea, in their stories.
Right.
Hmm.
I mean, even Robert A. Heinlein even used it, and Ray Bradbury.
Well, I think that I mean, it's kind of one of those warm, fuzzy thoughts. It's kind of like uh, it's kind of like socialism in the sense that
Oh.
it sounds good,
Mhm.
but in the actual practice of implementing it, it does far more harm than good. But because you only see the good because the focus is on the good that is seen, you never actually see the harm.
You lost me.
Now, well,
I did.
are you, and this brings up something else, but you talk about like enabling someone where they pretty much rely totally on handouts and they wind up being a burden to society.
Sure.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean that's one version of the negative impact that that can come along with it. But I guess what I mean by that, heavy, is that when you look at a program that is considered for the benefit of those without, provided by those who have, what you see uh, is the is the benefit that is received by those without. But what you don't see is uh, you don't see the way in which it is funded, which is by actually taxing those who have in order to give that to those without. And so all you see is the social good
Mhm.
without really seeing the negative side of it, which is how that's really paid for. And it can have the perception in the eyes of some people is kind of like, oh, well, this is free money or this is from the government. And
Right.
it's not. It's from your next door neighbor.
And it's not really a good thing if you have to give money by when it's done by force.
Uh, well, well, in
If
this,
you don't pay your taxes, you're going to jail. It's kind of like they're being forced to give it, and that
yeah,
shouldn't be
yeah,
that way.
and I know that this talking like this can be misunderstood because it just sounds like you're picking on poor people. But it's really not so much that as that any time that the government is in charge of anything like this, that the system itself is designed to swell, to grow. That people that are actually the bureaucracy that is set up to kind of manage these things is not designed to try and get rid of its own existence. So they're not trying to get rid of poverty, like in the case of welfare. You don't want to get rid of poverty because if you get rid of poverty, you're out of a job.
Yeah.
And so the whole design, whether it's welfare system or a Medicare system or anything like that, the whole design, when you have a government agency running it, is to actually get as large as you can because it depends on the government for money to fund it. And there's less oversight there, or there's kind of less interest in reining in how that money is used than say in a private interest. I'm not saying that private interests are the answer, but I certainly have come to believe that the public good is not really best served by the government. Just my opinion.
You killed my warm and fuzzy. Or you could say you took it to a whole nother level.
Well, sorry.
I just had to throw that in there.
I'll join you in Second Life. How's that? We can kind of create our own little.
And that's our hangout. Thanks for dropping by.
Well,
I did find one other definition though. It was something about, or not definition, but something about pay it forward is implemented in a contract law of loans or something.
Show us a link. You got a link?
Well, you'd probably have to read it because I'm reading and I'm like, what? It's like the second paragraph down. Instead of paying it back to the original debtor, lend to a third person.
oh, that's just stupid.
Yeah, that's why I'm reading it and I'm like, what?
Yeah, this is all so backwards.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that.
Yeah. Well, it's.
That's where.
Are you reading it there, Brojo?
Yeah, I'm scanning it. Which
It was mostly that second paragraph that kind of threw me.
See, I get and that,
oh,
and
right there.
I have to admit, like most of my thinking about this idea actually comes from the movie, which was one of those feel-good movies. You watch it, and it's kind of like, yeah, wouldn't the world be a better place if?
Right.
Yeah,
And
I never did see the movie.
oh, okay.
Good movie.
Well, the thing is that it's kind of like, okay, yeah, in the movie, okay, yes, you got to have the sad spots in order for to have that full range of emotions that will make a movie, sell or make it enjoyable and a really good experience. Kind of like Andy Kaufman's theory that when you do a show, it has to have a full range of emotions, and for order for, if all people are doing it are laughing, then you really haven't really touched your audience. That you have to make them cry. It's kind of like if you've ever seen the movie where he's performing a show and he takes everybody out and buys them ice cream, and or the woman who comes up. He has this old lady come up and she's dancing, and has a heart attack on stage, and the whole audience is like traumatized by the fact that this woman died in the show. And then of course Andy comes out dressed like a shaman or something, and he starts dancing around the woman, and she comes back to life. So it's about the audience experiencing terror and suspense and surprise and anxiety and relief, and so anyway, so all those elements were in Pay It Forward. But
yeah, I was sitting here reading a review about it too.
Yeah, so I'm here thinking to myself, okay, well let's place another scenario. The kid in Paying It Forward, because I think he takes in a homeless person. Well, the homeless person actually turned out to be kind of harmless, but there's a lot of homeless people that aren't.
True that.
Yeah.
So, like, he brings in a homeless person who is not harmless, and he murders everybody in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, okay, end of movie. So, like, that's real life. I mean, it's kind of like, probably the woman that you changed her tire, she was a little nervous when you pulled up there in your motorbike.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had my leather jacket on and beard, full beard and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't on a Harley though. I was on a Kawasaki.
So it wasn't loud and rumbly.
Well, no, not until I took off.
So you tell her to pay it forward, so she gets in her car, she drives down the road. I'm starting to sound like friggin' Carlton. Anyway, you drive down the road, or she drives down the road, and she sees somebody else on the side of the road and needs help, so she stops to help them. Well, little to her knowledge, that this guy has two bodies in the trunk.
Okay.
So that's great advice to pay it forward, you know.
Well, pay it forward with discretion.
Yeah, but she's now motivated by guilt. It's like this guy helped me and he wouldn't even take my money. Now I feel obligated to this person here. Like,
I don't think I
But
can
you do hear about things like that though, where someone sees someone else, they think they're in trouble, you know,
sure.
and kind of find out, you know, they're not. You know, it's a setup or a scam or something.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And that's bad though. You know, take advantage of someone trying to help you out.
Yeah.
You're actually setting up somebody.
Yeah, and you're certainly not in. I mean, in that case, you're not intending on doing harm, but you know, it's one of those unintended consequences of like, I guess, kind of like that good intention paving the road for someone to experience some hell. So, yeah.
Great. Now I can. Now I'm not gonna be able to help anybody over the road. They might just have bodies in their car.
Listen, think of this as a karma thing where you have to balance your good intention with a little bit of reality, and that's all we're doing here. We're just trying to bring some balance into the discussion. That's all.
Because sometimes you do hear about stuff like that where someone was trying to help somebody with something. I don't remember specifics, but it ended tragically, you know, or almost ended tragically because you know, someone was trying to help somebody else.
Sure. Yeah.
But I think if proportionally, I think for the most part, people are not doing that. You know, setting people up. I think it's a lot. I think it's a lot of movies we watch and TV, and we kind of think this is like happening very frequently. I don't know. I'm not hearing about it.
I know you're standing in the backyard in your bare feet and enjoying the
Yeah, I know. I'm a hermit.
Mother Earth and
Stepping myself in society. You know, yeah, yeah. Because most humans suck.
well, I'll certainly do the short version of the story because I certainly don't want to hog the mic. There's three of us in here, so
What, the story of Paid Forward?
well,
Really?
it's just a friend of mine and I, back in 1994, we hitchhiked from down here in Nova Scotia up to Toronto. So that'd be, 1,100 miles, something like that.
Wow. Mm.
And we went up in September. So in northern New Brunswick, it was cold, and in Ottawa, it was like 35 degrees or something ridiculous like that, like just sweltering. But this is when I was still a Christian, and we went without extra clothes. We went without money. We just stuck our thumbs out and hiked to Toronto. And of people that picked us up, most of the people that actually gave us any kind of significant lift at all, like there was the occasional, like it would always start out the first thing in the morning, every single morning, the same thing. And in part, there's a rational explanation for this, but they'd pick us up and they'd usually like take us to the next exit where they'd be getting off, and so we'd be back out again. You know, we'd be at the side of the road for 2 hours with our thumbs stuck out, and someone would pick us up and take us 2 miles down the road and drop us off again. So, but the people that actually picked us up and gave us actual drives were people that were smoking dope, and you know, one guy had seen us on the side of the road on his way down with his buddy into into the capital in New Brunswick, and they were going to court. And he said if his buddy wasn't with him on the way back, they'd have room for the two of us, and they'd pick us up. Anyway, they did have room, so they were on their way back out, and they picked us up, and the car just reeked of marijuana, and some guy who was in a sweat lodge up in Quebec somewhere around the Gaspé picked us up, and really strange characters, but people with crosses hanging from their rear view mirrors or fish on the bumpers. Mm-hmm. They never picked us up. So anyway.
Yeah.
Just the kindness of strangers.
Oh,
which I guess is kind of what we're kind of talking about in a way, is we're talking about how do you pay it forward in a way that I guess makes sense, because what you don't want to do is you don't want people being stupid about taking complete strangers into their houses when sometimes they have kids in the house and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like you have to be, like you said, you have to be careful with what you do. Think about it, and go, wait a minute, I want to let someone in my house? No. Yep.
But then, okay, it brings up a situation. When I first moved out here, we were here only a few months. It was the first winter, and I think it was like a Friday night, or Saturday, somewhere on Saturday morning. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I get a knock on my door, and so I wasn't, I'm like just waking up. You're out, half asleep, so you're not sure if you're really dreaming or something. And I heard I got up, and I didn't see anybody at the door. And then I went to go look out the window, and there's this kid, 16, 17 years old, walking the road. Now, there's houses here are couple hundred yards from each other. So, and I know the next house he was going to, it's going to be about, it's going to be a while. And here he's freezing out. He's got no coat on, and there's no other car around. So I'm discerning, this is legit. This guy is in some kind of trouble. But my wife was very nervous,
Right.
And for me, it was instinctive to get the kid and see what's up. Why is he out there with no jacket, freezing? And so he came in the house. Now, what had happened? He was coming from a party. He got drunk at a party. He got into a fight with his friend.
Your wife was right, wasn't she?
No, not at all. No, not at all. Not at all. I'm just telling you I'm giving you the story afterwards.
Okay.
By the time he got to me, he was all sobered up, believe me. Because what had happened was he got into a fight while he was drinking, and he fell into a freezing creek.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Jacket on. Yeah, so this guy's T-shirt, he's just got a T-shirt on. The thing is like stiff, cargo, and he would have died out there, definitely hypothermia or something, So, brought him in, make sure you got warmed up, got him a towel, got him a sweatshirt, and then me and my wife, we drew him to, drew him home. He was like 10 miles away from home. But, the kid was, of course, obviously grateful. But I think I was able to quickly assess the situation, being I didn't think I was in any intimate danger.
Right.
Just because, hey, he was in a T-shirt. He there's no car around, so he wasn't like trying to do anything. So to my wife, I'm like, no, I just did it. I don't know why you had to be so afraid of. And of course I had to pull well, don't you think this is what Jesus would have done? You know? You know?
No, Jesus would have told him, you don't need an extra coat. You don't need extra shoes. You don't need a wallet. Give me your money.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just trying to entice some people to come in the room.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that was kind of my point about the story when we were hitchhiking is that afterwards, because I'd never hitchhiked before, it was the first time. Now I'm 6'3", and my friend is like 6 foot, and you just have to imagine these two guys, not small, standing on the side of the road with their thumbs stuck out. So it's kind of like we're sabotaging our own mission in this way, because I can't imagine too many people that would want to pick up a couple that look like us.
Right.
But when we came back, it was the hardest thing to drive by somebody hitchhiking. Eventually I paid it back enough, or paid it forward enough, that I figured, okay, I don't need to pick up hitchhikers anymore.
Did you have any interesting hitchhiker?
What's that?
Did you have any interesting hitchhiker?
That I've picked up?
Yeah.
A few, but none that ever scared me, or none that I was ever worried about.
Yeah.
So. A little hard now, because most of the time that I'm driving, I'm actually driving for work, and I'm not allowed to pick up anybody. So, so I can justify my behavior, like blaming my work.
That's something I rarely see anymore, is people actually hitchhiking.
Yeah, very rare.
Yeah, there's not as many.
You remember the show Frasier?
Yeah.
It brings up an episode. Frasier is driving, and it's pouring rain out, and he sees this woman. She's like in this, she's in distress. So I guess an umbrella, or I don't know if she had an umbrella. She just got caught in the rain, and she's kind of like, hitchhiking for a ride. And so he picks her up, only to find out, and then he gets momentarily later he gets pulled over by the police, because it turns out the woman was a hooker. He's trying to do something nice, and he's picking her up. And of course, he had to go down to the station and everything, and now his whole reputation is in the line.
Yeah. Yeah. The famous radio shrink, and now it has to explain this. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. This sounds like a winner of a conversation piece that you picked there, John.
No, real winner. Look how many people it drew in. We got one viewer, and it's the three of us. I don't know. I know. I need controversial stuff. I know. This is just. You can't do the nice stuff. Yeah, there's another hangout going on right now. I think Tanya started it. Galaxy, something about drama. So everybody's over there about the drama.
I'm sitting here talking and shopping for a toy. Oh dear.
Well, did anyone see? Okay, we'll talk about drama. Let's talk about the hangout news. This hangout drama. Did you see? I saw Raw. Was it Rob? He might even come in here today. I invited him. He gave a rebuke to G-Man.
Yeah, apparently. From what I get, now see, I didn't see the
I'm trying to
hangout,
tell
but
a story. I know. I don't listen to G-Man.
yeah,
I tried to, but
yeah. I didn't see the hangout, but apparently G-Man gave someone a bit of bad advice, and Raw
all right. Yeah, he said
called him on it or something.
he told somebody, go read your Bible for a year and come back to me or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Raw took exception to that, saying, the person he was apparently the person was looking for a little bit of help or something,
Okay.
and G-Man told him pretty much just go away. I didn't see the hangout.
I know.
I was just going by what Raw had to say.
Oh, okay. Well,
Well, let's talk about it as if we know what happened.
okay. Let's pretend. Let's make
Oh my goodness!
let's embellish the story a little bit.
Actually, I think G-Man was on a recent hangout about 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes ago. It's some channel I hadn't ran across yet.
Okay. Yeah, then somebody put out a video. Did someone cut up the Raw's video, his review video, and they did it to the tone of like a movie trailer.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah,
Did you see that, Heavy?
yeah, yeah. I think the thing with what Raw was the point. Whoa!
It was
Hang on a second. Something just started playing. Okay. The point Raw was trying to make was, instead of telling the guy to go away and come back in a year, G-Man should have tried to help him or give him something, useful there in the hangout instead of saying that to him. Because Raw was looking at it like, if this guy was really sincere about trying to find out something, or was trying to find answers or something, he might go out and get hit by a truck tomorrow, so he would have, that's kind of, and he would have missed out on learning or being saved or something. I didn't see the original hangout, so I can't say for sure just what exactly happened.
No, not the comment. No,
It was just kind of the impression that I got from what Raw had to say. That G-Man should have been more patient.
Well, maybe G-Man didn't have anything with which to help him with.
I don't know. Like I said, I can't say because I didn't see the original hangout.
Well, no. I'm not. I'm just like I guess I'm just thinking out loud. Like,
Yeah.
Because there's only one worse thing than not helping somebody, and that's by helping them by giving them the wrong advice.
Oh yeah.
In fact, if it led to the guy not being saved, it might have actually did him a favor.
Yeah, because it's hard to say because I didn't see the actual hangout, so I don't know what actually happened.
Oh, you're just no fun, Heavy.
I know.
Now, see, from knowing from the past, I'm only going by history, and the conflicts that G-Man usually have are with atheists. I'm only assuming. I can only assume that most likely, most probably, that maybe this guy was really, looking for a debate in the Bible, and they're trying to argue with him about something, and maybe G-Man felt he knew more than this guy and told him, go read the Bible and get back to me. You know what you're talking about or something. I don't know. That's what I get. I mean, knowing the history of what goes on over there. It's crazy. It's so ridiculous. All in the name of Jesus.
All right, Jesus defenders, get in here and defend him. Bro Joe has thrown the gauntlet down.
No.
Or if nothing else, correct us on our interpretation of what happens.
Yeah, at least direct us in the right gossip.
Yeah. I tend to stay out of the I don't even think I've ever been in any of his hangouts. I tend to stay away from that.
I have no idea who he is.
G-Man.
Yeah, but I think it's terrible that guy went out and got run over the next day. And
Oh! You just took it to a whole other level again. There you go.
I know G-Man's gonna have to answer to God.
yep.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Because you, G-Man, that man did not get saved. Because,
It's like that song. It only takes a spark to get a fire going. I thought about singing it, and then I thought maybe not.
But now let's wait.
Uh-oh.
John's feeling conviction.
No, I'm not feeling conviction. I'm gonna go with this line of thinking, like Raw Dog. If this was the case, that this guy could have been saved because G-Man could have helped this guy out, but he does die, and then where's God's responsibility in all this?
Well, see, I don't know if that was the situation or not. I just know something about
God didn't see this coming.
G-Man told him to come back in a year, and some people didn't settle well with that.
Get him now.
That's all I know. So my hands are clean of the issue.
Yeah, forget this fishing with the hook business. Get the net out.
Oh no.
So what if when G-Man dies and he's before the pearly gates, St. Peter will tell him, you got to go to the other place for a year. Come back in a year.
Yeah, that guy that was in your hangout, he became a Muslim.
So, yeah. But you got to pay it forward now.
Excuse me.
We lost a few and we got viewers out there, right?
And what was what now?
We got him. I'm surprised. Green Soul and J Dubs didn't come by yet. They usually come in around this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's almost midnight here, and I got to get up in about 4.5 hours. So.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would have loved to discuss this pay it forward idea. That sounds really interesting.
Heavy's laughing.
I'm sorry.
Are you being facetious? Funny.
Well, actually, I do think it's interesting because I think it's to me it's kind of it's a slightly, well, it's different than the whole do unto others business, but it's related to it, I think. But I think the do unto others business makes more sense than the pay it forward model.
The pay it forward model is kind of backwards then, it's like.
I think it is.
You want to others when it's done unto you.
Well, I know how people misuse that because like the understanding of it doesn't come easily until you when you start actually thinking about the implications of the idea. You can usually find problems with it which indicate that you're looking at it the wrong way. For example, because I've actually heard someone use this as an example. Let's say that I'm a sadomasochist. So what I like doing unto others is what I like doing being done unto me, so I can justify being a masochist to other people because I like having it done to me. Yes. Which is not what it means.
No, right.
Because what it's referring to is it's referring to that it's about doing to others as you would as you would be willing to have done to you. In other words, you can't do to someone else something that you know that they would not want done to them in the same way that you wouldn't want somebody doing something to you that you would not want done to you. And so, while it might be true that you're a sadomasochist, you can only do it to someone else when they want it done. You just can't impose it on them because you want it done to you. You can't use that kind of weird justification.
Yeah, and this kind of idea, I think I have to find the quote. I think it was like Confucius had a similar quote, but it was worded that way where it was do no harm to another. Or do no harm to you, or
Yeah,
something like that.
Confucius and I think Hinduism and Rabbi Hillel, the generation before Jesus, said, "What you find hateful to yourself, do not do to another person."
There you go.
And we don't want to be deprived of our right to our own safety, to our own well-being. And so we should never do to another person what we know would infringe on their right and their freedom, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you just can't justify bad behavior like because you would be willing to have someone do it to you, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the case of a hitchhiker, while if I'm going by a hitchhiker, while I know that hitchhiker might want me to pick them up, I know that I can't because of work. But at the same time, if I was in the hitchhiker's shoes, I wouldn't want somebody picking me up if it was going to endanger their livelihood or that they could get fired for picking me up. I wouldn't want them to pick me up.
Mm.
In fact, a driver who drove for me several years ago, he fell asleep at the wheel and wandered over the center line and sideswiped several vehicles, and one vehicle went tumbling down into the ditch. And it was a company truck, one of the local companies, and the guy had picked up a hitchhiker about 2 miles earlier, and the hitchhiker was in the passenger seat and lost 2 or 3 fingers.
No.
So that was, I mean, when that happened, it was like there was no question in my mind, no hitchhikers, no way. Because the guy who picked him up was
Liability, I guess,
yeah,
or something like that.
yeah.
I'm gonna ask, did the hitchhiker lose his thumb?
Oh.
You're not suggesting karma.
Oh my goodness.
He lost his 2 thumbs.
You're so insensitive.
I know.
No,
Just from the guy that killed my warm and fuzzy?
well, it does explain why nobody's coming in.
Yeah.
I do need to run though. I've got another busy day tomorrow, so I need to get rested up for that.
Well, it was good to see you, Heavy.
Yeah, it's good to see y'all too, and thanks for the invite. And
All right.
I'll just sit here all by myself for a couple minutes and see if anyone else comes.
Okay. Y'all take care and have a good one.
All right, take care.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Now, Gretchen left a message that in about 90 minutes she hopes to be back. So
90 minutes or 9 minutes?
90.
90.
90.
Oh boy.
Well, she's got to feed the kids, put them to bed, and stuff like that.
All right. Well, you go get some sleep, man.
All right. Well, listen. Have a good night.
All right, you too. And maybe I'll see you, I don't know, Thursday or something. I know their Idol Smash is having the Noah Hyde Nexus shot.
Oh, the last one was so much fun.
Mm. Yeah. This could be better.
I suspect some people will not be invited.
That's right.
Oh my.
Right.
All right, sir.
Okay, sweet dreams.
Take care. That just sounded wrong. Anyway. How do I get out of here?
The little X.
Actually, it's a phone on mine.
Oh, I don't know. Stop.
All right. Take care,
Adios.
Don.
I'll give it a couple minutes, see if anyone else comes in. This is unusual, really unusual. Usually, J Dubs is in here. Or Green or Roof come by.